Impact!
What's up, guys? Luke Krubeck. Welcome to vlog number 5, I'm pretty sure this is. Decided to do a little bit, go a little different route here today, and you're going to get some exposure to the precision shooting world, because why not? Because we got the guy behind the camera that I'm with today, Phillip Velayo, and decided this would be a good opportunity. He and I have been working on a little bit of a collaboration, maybe tying in what does the fitness side of the precision shooting world look like, and what are some things that we can do to make us more efficient on that end. I know probably just enough to be dangerous when it comes to the shooting world, and definitely don't have as much experience in the long range field of that. So today's going to be a cool opportunity for me to learn a little bit, and we thought we'd just bring you guys along for the ride and go from there. So
yeah,
Phil,
I'm excited. I'm excited for this. You're a really great educator. Just being behind the camera and seeing how you talk to the camera, but to your audience. So I'm excited to, let you be the student for once.
Yeah.
But yeah. So introduction, and not trying to insult your intelligence. That's the last thing I want to do.
Certainly not, yeah.
But I think with us being in Wyoming, very traditionally, I brought this rifle out, is what a lot of hunters would consider a hunting rifle, right? Probably something that you're familiar with, growing up with, hunting and stuff like that. It's the 25-06 in a Remington 700. Actually, this action is probably, it would go on the black market right now for a lot of money just because of how ancient it is. But if you see here, I've got nothing but modern rifles, and I'm a competitive shooter. So what I'm going to have you shoot is what we call a Ferrari of rifles. And this is essentially chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. So it's a very modern, popularized cartridge for long-range shooting, and it's what I use for competition. So the very first thing that I typically, especially with you being very new to precision shooting, is first, in order for us to really maximize our understanding of it, we have to know kind of all the components that go into it, just like, very similar to your background of understanding probably a muscle group, right? Or even, getting ready to treat somebody, right?
Sure.
All the ins and out of that specific. I don't know, maybe I'm off base here. Let me know if I'm messing that up.
I think, there has to be some parallels, right?
Yeah,
It's
for
like
sure.
You have to understand the basics to be able to apply any other intervention, right?
Exactly,
So,
yeah. Because traditionally what a lot of guys will do, a lot of instructors will do, is kind of wow some shooters and have them get on the gun and then kind of do everything for them, right? And sure, it's a cool experience, but it's even a better experience if, like, for a fact, okay, hey, I did everything based off of what I was taught in that moment, to be able to, take that little projectile and shoot out to, 1,100 yards, which is what I'm going to have you shoot out to today. Sure. Too. Yeah. So what's the furthest you've ever shot?
God, not that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get that. So this is chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. So a rifle pretty much consists of a chassis system or a stock. And again, traditionally, a lot of hunters and stuff like that are going to be in a stock or some sort. And I've got a few stocks here, but from my time in the military, I've kind of gravitated more to a chassis just because of the way that it feels ergonomically, and the adjustability behind it. Especially as a competitive shooter, for the different things that I need for it in competition. And what's cool is a lot of this is actually also gravitated into the military and law enforcement sniper world. So it's kind of cool to see the two parallels now with that. But those guys are not running around. This rifle is probably like 25 pounds with the optic. So those guys aren't running around with a 25-pound gun. They're usually around 17 to 20 pounds fully loaded. So this is the chassis. This is a Kinetic Research Group C4 chassis. And then you've got your kind of main barreled action, which is the action itself here. This is a Tikka. And actually, what's really cool about this action is that you can find it just off the shelf for a very affordable price. So a lot of shooters that get into this that might be a little, buy once, cry once type of guy. I have a feeling that you're you're that type of person as well, immediately want to go straight to, hey, what are the top guys using? Right. There's merit to that, but they also, I believe, especially if you like want to get into this, like you miss out on the journey of like, you know, tinkering with stuff, right?
Sure.
But the Tika is a really great action off the shelf, and so essentially what I did was take the factory barrel off of it and put a custom barrel on it. This is what it is on it right now. It's a Proof, just a company that makes barrels, and it's cut at 26 inches, and we're going to be running with a can today. And then obviously bipods that we need in order to support the front of the rifle, because traditionally, again, without bipods, we would shoot off of a pack or, you know, shoot offhand, but that's kind of no fun. You know what I mean? Sure. And now you're a pretty strong guy, so holding a rifle like this is probably going to be, you know, no issue. But in terms of like just being precise versus like, you know, just shooting at long range, because guys can put a, you know, 3-foot target out there at 500 yards and take 12 different shots at it. But our goal is to put a 10-inch target at 500 and, you know, take one round at it. And so giving all the tools that we have today to be as precise as possible is kind of my attitude behind precision shooting.
Sure.
So that's the chassis, barrel to action. Again, we're going to be running a suppressor today, and then the optic. So this is a call-less optic. And what do you think the purpose of an optic is?
Well, I mean, besides giving you better eyes downrange, right? Mm-hmm. It's just got to be part of improving the efficiency overall, right?
Okay, good. Improving the efficiency, yep. So the main purpose of an optic is really just to sight it in, right? So traditionally we would have the iron sights, right, where you'd make adjustments to the rear sight and based off like that. And so all of that is included pretty much into the optic now, but it allows you, like you said, to see better downrange. And really the goal of an optic is to return zero, because back in the day, one thing that optics had a hard time doing was actually maintaining a zero. In terms of under recoil, the glass would shatter, right? Or if you were to dial the scope, right, it wouldn't match up to what you actually need to dial to. Because essentially, as you dial on this elevation turret, what happens now is it changes the perspective inside of the housing unit of you needing to orient your barrel at a specific angle to compensate for a bullet drop. All right, so that's essentially what we're going to do, and we're going to mount it. I'm just going to mount it right now just for the sake of this video, but when we get out to the range, I'm going to have you essentially make sure that the eye relief is set specifically to your body mechanics. And we went over it in one of my videos about how to get better ways to, you know, be more comfortable in the prone. Right? Sure. And I think you're going to really see that when we get you down in the prone behind this optic here and kind of start to see the parallels of what I saw with my students, you know, struggling with in terms of getting their eye relief or getting down comfortably behind the prone.
Sure.
So I just gave you a pretty much down and dirty class of the components of a rifle system in like 6 minutes. That's usually like it could be like a full day class.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
You know, I think the questions will probably come more once we get a little bit more hands-on and get rolling through that. But right now, I think I'm tracking. Yeah. So
let me give you a real quick external ballistics class. I'm going to reframe here and just give you a down and dirty, like, hey, this is on this whiteboard. I know you and I both love whiteboards.
Yes, sir.
And we'll go through like, hey, what's actually happening when that bullet gets launched out of here?
Sure.
So
cool.
External ballistics 101. All right. So what are things that we have that affect how a bullet flies in the air?
Oh, elements, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say, obviously, wind is an obvious one.
Okay, wind. Yep.
I'm gonna have to say in the long range world, like even things such as like humidity and that have to affect that, right?
Humidity. Keep going. We're good. We're getting there.
Any elevation change from where you're shooting to where a target lies, right?
Okay, yep. So angle, distance to target, essentially.
Right.
And I think you're talking specifically like shooting down at a hill.
Or up, right?
Yeah, like shooting down or up, yep. Either way. Okay, yep.
How much you suck.
Okay, that's
right?
that's huge. So the shooter, right? So these are all what we call variables.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
so honesty, right?
Variables into shooting. What else? So we got humidity. We're gonna add temperature here.
Sure.
And then we're gonna also add altitude, right? I think we call them flatlanders, or guys at sea level, right? When they come up to Cody, they're just like, I can't even breathe, right? They walk a block or whatever. I'm sure you experience that with guys in the gym that are moving out here and not used to the change. So typically in higher altitude, air is less dense, right? So two things that are constants, right, are gravity, right, and I don't want to say bullet drag is constant, but just drag in general, right? And so each bullet has its own specific bullet drag based off of how it's designed, right? So the best way to explain it is take your truck versus, let's say, a Tesla, right? Just the way that it's shaped. There's bullets out there that are, efficient for cutting through drag, like the Tesla, and there's, monster bullets out there that are not meant for shooting at distance, but will pack a nasty punch at closer ranges, right? So the things that I think are important just off the bat for most shooters to understand is, okay, hey, this truly affects our up and down, right? So with external ballistics, right, we have an up and down factor, obviously, and then we have a left to right, and the left and right is where that wind comes in. But specifically for this, just the portion of this class, wind is more because it's so visual. We'll talk about that when we get out there, and we should be experiencing some good winds today. So for this just instruction, we're not going to worry about wind until we actually head out to the range. So we are good to head to the range. Do you have any questions?
Not at the moment. There's going to be some out there, though.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's do it. The guys at the gun stores or whatnot, I'm so glad that guy's suppressed. What they'll do is they'll take their rifle. All right, so what guys will traditionally do is they'll take their rifle and they'll put it up in their crook of their elbow and see where the trigger finger falls. I don't like this method because at no point other than this do you ever interface with a rifle like this. Right? Sure. So what we have to do is just understand, okay, well, what is this distance truly setting up for us? And what I found is that it sets up our ability to articulate and manipulate the bolt, okay? Sure. Before putting the optic on. So what I'm gonna have you do is just go ahead, get down in the prone, right? And when you connect to the rifle, what I also want you to do is I want you to put it as center line as possible. It should land right on top of the center of your clavicle. And then for sake of argument right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you put this rear bag down here. Okay. And then with your left hand, you're going to put this your hand, there you go, just like that. There you go. Cool. Now go ahead and close your bolt a couple times. And put your face on the cheek pad, and then just run the bolt. And what I'm looking for is not too much movement of this elbow right here. So what I want you to do is I want you to keep this elbow planted. There you go, and just manipulate. There you go, just your wrist. Cool. So realistically, that setup right there is good for you, just because. Now, also another thing I want you to do is come down to your grip, and make sure when you come to this grip, there's not too much pressure right here on your wrist. Feel okay?
Yeah, seems to.
Cool. Now, surprisingly enough, you've set up a really solid prone position. I'd love to take a picture. Have you shot like that before? sure sometime in your...
Yeah, I mean, limited amounts, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's really solid. So the only critique I'd have, and I mean, I know it sucks because we have this huge beam right here,
right,
is I want you to give me a nice wide base.
Right.
Yeah, you can open up. There you go. There you go. Perfect. Now that looks really good. So what this does is helps us set up our body position to best manage recoil, right? Because recoil management is about the game of angles.
Right.
And if we think about just the recoil impulse coming back, it should launch straight forward. But typically what a lot of shooters will struggle with is that rifle hopping left or to the right. And that usually stems from bad body positioning as well as pressures that they're putting on their face, right? So we'll navigate that when we get there. But right now, based off of the way it feels, shoulders are nice and relaxed. That's good. How does it connecting to the rifle feel?
Right now it feels fine. What I've struggled with in the past, like I ran a scope on my AR for a little while, and it was getting to where I could like feel like I could actually look through the optic, right?
Okay. Do you know if you're left or right eye dominant?
I'm right eye dominant.
Okay, cool. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set this optic up. And now what this hopefully will do is now, right, just like an optometrist, I'm going to push it all the way forward. And what you're going to do is you're just connect to the rifle, and then you're going to see if you need to push your head forward or back to get a nice field of view. If you have to push your head forward, that means you're goosenecking, and so we need to pull the scope back. No shadows and stuff like that?
As long as they stay put.
Okay. All right, cool. Now you might notice that you'll probably need to raise your bipods up to get that same kind of comfortable position like last time. Bolt is closed. Go ahead and put your thumb right there on that grip area. Don't wrap around. No, don't wrap around. Put your thumb how it was. Yeah, there you go. Now, when you, I want you to take a deep breath in. Exhale. What does your reticle do? Does it move up and down?
Yeah, when I breathe in, it goes down.
As you take a deep breath in, yeah, it goes down, and as you exhale, it goes back up?
Correct.
Okay, good. But it's going straight up and down, right? It's not moving on an angle?
Right.
Okay, good. That means that we're nice and square behind the gun. If it moved at an angle, that typically means that we're inducing angles. So now as you exhale, you're going to get to the bottom of your respiratory pause, and then that's when I want you to pull the trigger. But when you pull the trigger, I just want you to let it take you by surprise. I don't want you to force it. Just pull back on the slack until you hear the hammer fall. Okay, go ahead and run the bolt. Good. How's that feel?
Good.
Good? All right. Time to go hot.
Try to get that gun level again.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind is that board is probably not level. So if you trust those levels up top, you should be good. All right, whenever you're ready. Just push it. There you go. Okay, good. Let's do one more. Breathe in, relax, easy press. Good. Okay, I like what I see. And one more. So when you pull that trigger, what I want you to do is I want you to freeze as if you're, or continue to draw that your finger like you're going to come back and touch your nose.
Okay.
Okay. Check your cant. Put 2 and 3 right on top of each other. And one more. Go ahead, relax, you got plenty of time. Check your cant. Breathe in, deep breath in. Easy press, follow through. Okay. Feel like you pulled that one?
Yeah.
Where? What direction?
Left.
Left? Okay. It came slightly to the right.
Did it?
First one was low, but the next 3 were pretty much, you can see them in the scope, yeah? Okay. Pretty good. Let's go ahead and let's get you out of that position. Kind of stretch it out real quick. A little low, but your next 3 were just under that minute of angle. Just 6 o'clock of the center of that diamond, which is good shooting. And again, I know there's a lot of external factors preventing you from maximizing your efficiency behind the gun, like we talked about. So if you imagine a triangle of 3 considerations that when you're building a shooting position, you want to be mindful of. Number 1 is ultimately comfort, right? So as you saw, if you're not comfortable, you're not thinking about anything else.
Sure.
It's hard to be present in the moment of like, okay, what does, how do I stay relaxed? How do I get this reticle from not dancing all over the place, right? Am I breathing? But then that goes into the stability piece, which is number 2. Okay, like when I build a position, how stable am I? And that is dictated by how much reticle wobble that we have.
Yeah.
Right. And then number 3 is our ability to manage recoil.
Sure.
Right. So as we did earlier, getting into the standing, for most people, it's going to be the most comfortable, right? Because it's just more natural, right? Even though it's more comfortable, it lacks a lot of stability and recoil management. Further you get down to the ground, right? So it's trying to blend a balance of all 3, but just being mindful. And I always tell my shooters when I'm training them is, hey, if you're not comfortable, then you can forget everything else, right? Because literally that's the only thing that, is you're going to be thinking about. So.
Right.
Okay, so 0's good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to skip all the math and all the things of, long range shooting, and we're going to rely on technology, right, to help us with our firing solution, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to control the data, and all I want you to do is focus on the fundamentals that we kind of talked about, as well as finding the target. And now we've got, obviously, because it's one, we've got some wind. So this is also going to require us to hold into the wind, right? So I'll walk you through it when you're on the gun, but remember, because right now I'm thinking the wind is coming from left to right because that's what it feels like, and that's what it looks like. Yeah, wind is coming from left to right. So when I say hold left, what I want you to do is I want you to point the barrel into the wind, but what that's going to force you to do is measure on the right side of the crosshairs.
Okay.
Nice, looking good. So a good rule of thumb to set up what we call our natural point of aim is find the target with your hips and your shoulders will follow.
I like that, okay.
All right. So hexagon, there should be like a white plate down to the bottom, to the left of it, like on the ground.
I can't see that from where I'm at.
Oh, okay.
I'm on the hexagon.
You're on the hexagon? White hexagon, right?
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead, load. Well, mechanically safe. Yeah, 1.8. You're good. There you go. Good. Now what I want you to do is I want you to aim on the left edge of that hexagon. Impact. Hear it?
Yes, sir.
Nice. And let's do one more. How was your recoil management? Are you coming back on target?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Visually, you mean? Right?
Yeah, yeah. And one more. Impact. Nice, dude. Oh, yeah. Okay. So 3 mils on the scope.
Yes, sir.
We're on the white hexagon.
Yep.
Okay. So I need you to hold 5/10 to the left. So you're going to put hash mark 2 and 3 in between 2 and 3 on the center of that target.
Sure.
Boom, impact. Nice, dude. Hell yeah.
Cool.
All right, we need 6/10, so an actual, the third one on the center of the target.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready. I'm up, make sure you check your level. Press, impact. Nice, dude. All right, that's 540. All right, ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, 4.1 on the gun.
Yes, sir.
All right, this is going to need 7/10. So in between 3 and 4. In between 3 and the third and fourth tick mark.
And essentially it's 4 to the larger hash, correct?
Yeah. Well, no. So
That's
there's
5.
Yeah, there's 5 to the largest hash. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And you want me where?
I want you in between 3 and 4. So 7/10. 7/10 left. You're good. Go for it. Yeah, just, you're good. Yeah, just there you go. Impact. There it is. Whew. Now, 1140. Told you we'd go out to 1100. This one's a little tricky to find, but it'll be okay. Tell you what, your target acquisition is on point. It's like you're a natural. Dude, even your body positioning is solid every single time.
2 and 2, 2 and 4.
We're gonna do 2 mils. 2 mils exactly, actually. 2.2.
Okay.
2.2, whenever you're ready. Relax, breathe, easy press. Oh, wow, a lot more. We need a lot more. Okay, let's do, let's make it 2.8. So just shy of 3 mils. I don't like the last one.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, 2.8.
Okay.
Oh, you're right underneath it. Your wind call is perfect. All right, I'm gonna dial up another 2/10. And I need to see the mag. I think you're out. Oh no, never mind. You got one there. You're good.
So now we're at 0 on this guy again?
No, we're at 10 mils. It's a 10 mil turret.
Okay.
So you see that little red nipple? It pops up.
Gotcha.
So lets us know we're in the second revolution. So same wind call, 2.8 to the left. This one's got to be quick because the wind's picking up and slowing down. So once you send that bullet, I want you to jack another one in the chamber.
Do we have enough in there?
Yeah, you've got enough.
I lost target. There it is.
Got it? Okay. Yeah, you're good. .8. Impact. One more time.
Is that the last one?
No, you got one more. Send it. Make it count. Relax. Breathe. Easy on the trigger. Impact. Nice, dude.
Sweet.
All right. 2.8 mils. That's a 15 mile an hour crosswind. 120 inches of drift. 10 feet.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
it's
wild. Dude.
So it's hard. I can see it, but it's probably gonna be tough for you to see it. But your initial trajectory is so far off, but you can watch it land right in the target.
That's wild.
Yeah, dude.
But the thing about it is in this whole process, nothing that I'm doing takes skill. I'm just doing what you're telling me to do. You know what I mean? It's it's like the being able to dial that in and know what's what. That's the shit that matters.
Yeah.
As long as you do what you're told, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's driving the gun as I mean, that's all. It's always important to start with, right? Because that's the only thing that matters at this point. It's hey, and that's usually a good kind of hook, line, and sinker of, okay, hey, this is what a rifle is capable of nowadays. Now, I think for you, the question is, okay, how do I learn this shit myself?
Right.
Right. How do I it's guys are well, what are you seeing out there that makes it, 15 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Damn, 2 in a row. Leaving off on a good note.
That's right.
And I got it on trigger cam.
You're keeping the brass, right?
Yeah. Man. that was exciting,
cool,
to say the least. That worked out. Yeah,
it's a blast.
I'm glad that what's that?
That's fun, man.
Right. Now, hopefully, I think you can get a sense to what we talked about with the prone stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then I think the more we do this, like, I can see the next us coming out here, kind of redoing this. I want to play with that scope height, and then having like walking you through the process of like, okay, hey, this is how we start making our wind calls and gathering our own data for our rifle and stuff like that. Because actually, the device I'm using, this is just something. But this other app that I use is I shouldn't say the same thing. They're two different systems. It's like Apple versus Android.
Yeah.
But they come up with the same firing solution.
Yeah.
And so this is free.
Right.
You can download it on your phone. So next time I can, for like a progression, it's like, okay, hey, now that you know how to drive the gun, we'll continue to refine that process. But the next step is, okay, how do I get that data on my own?
Right.
So.
Sweet.
Cool.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for watching vlog number 5. Surprise, surprise, Luke's eating again. But I hope you enjoyed this vlog. A little bit different pace, not as much from the fitness side, but hopefully enjoy going on the journey of watching me get a little vulnerable and lean into something that I don't have a lot of experience in and that I'm not very good at. So hopefully it wasn't too painful for you guys watching me struggle, get line of sight through the scope and all that good stuff. But I had a blast shooting with Phil and excited to maybe get into that a little bit more. And excited about the collaboration that he and I are doing for his personal YouTube channel as well. We'll try to put that in the information down here as well so you guys can find him, because we're going to be collabing on the fitness side of the shooting too, and just kind of connecting the dots there. So thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and don't forget the PR podcast, the Progressive Resistance podcast, is also on the Luke Krubeck channel. Check those out. Appreciate the support. Like, share, subscribe. Build the better you.